Welcome, bienvenidos. Today is vlog 30, I think it's 33. Yep, 33. And I was making a video in Spanish about depression and how we have gotten so scared about talking about mental illness in this planet. And one of the issues that came up, and it's the reason why I'm recording this message today, is the issue of keeping up with the Joneses and comparing yourself with other people and not realizing that they might have issues just like you. And this was inspired because we have a friend that just came back from a trip to Puerto Rico. And she just took off, spare of the moment. I mean, she planned the whole thing because she was giving this as a gift to someone else. So she had to go to their place of business, make sure that they got the days off, and then just plan everything behind their backs to surprise these people with a trip to Puerto Rico. And I saw a lot of videos and a lot of pictures, and they had a really wonderful time. And that, you see, those kind of things don't make me jealous or anything like that. They did make somebody think, how come some people have the ability to take off on spur of the moments and others can't? That was the seed that started this whole conversation, not only about depression, but about the idea that everybody else has it so good and we don't. Another example I can give you is Facebook. Now, I have never seen anybody want to purposely take pictures of themselves in a bad mood. Not on purpose, anyway. For some reason, we seem to think that because people post great pictures of themselves on Facebook, that there's something wrong with us. If you look at your own Facebook profile, though, you're always smiling and having a good time too. So what exactly are you talking about? That is one of those misconceptions that makes you wonder, what the heck do we have inside our brains? Do we have anything inside our brains, or are we just mentally defective? Everybody has things that somebody else is going to not envy, admire about them. Your neighbor might have a better car than you. You might have a better computer. Your sister might have a better job. Your brother might have a better house. Everybody has something. And instead of comparing ourselves with everybody else, why can't we just be happy with what we have? Simple concept, you would think, but for some reason we're not. And people are very quick to blame social media for this, but the reality is that this has always existed. When I was growing up, we moved to a neighborhood that was so new that when we started going to see the house as it progressed, they were building the house. The house had not been built. In fact, the neighborhood had not been built. And it was one in a series of 5 or 6 neighborhoods. And there was going to be a highway that was going to cross, that was going to be in between one and the rest of the neighborhoods. And they were constructing the highway when we moved in. In fact, I got in trouble once because I went with my neighbor and we ran over the hill so we could see the construction, and then we went to the other side and see the construction of the new neighborhood. And when we got back, we both got punished because we were 9. And we were not allowed to talk to each other for a week, and then the dad got transferred, and the next thing I know, I never saw my friend again. His name was Jimmy. And I always thought it was funny that Jimmy and I got in so much trouble for just looking over the street, and now kids are not even allowed outside their house because people are worried that something's going to happen to them. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is because the way the neighborhood was built, my street, for example, the line of houses, the last line of houses, because it so happens that my dad bought the house that my dad bought was in the last line of houses that separated our neighborhood from the next neighborhood that had been there for years. And the way they built it was 2-story houses. All the houses on this side were 2-story houses, and then across the street you had 3 1-story houses, and then 1 2-story house. That was a completely different model from the one we had. And in fact, the houses that were in between the 1-story houses, That house was bigger than the houses on the other side of the street, the one that were all 2-story highs. And the front, the facade, I guess, was different from the houses. Not all of them. It was like 3 different models. But the inside of the house on all the models that faced one side of the street were exactly the same model. That 2-story house was different than our 2-story house. Excuse me. And I tell you that to tell you that there was always somebody, even though the houses were so similar, there was always somebody saying, I wish I would have bought that house instead of this one. Or, and by the way, when we moved in, we were all brand new. We were the original owners of those houses. And I don't think I'll never forget it because we had one of our neighbors used to make these crazy, amazing decorations for Halloween to the point where she was showing up in media before it was a thing. And we all wanted to have her house. Even though her house was a 1-story house and it was tiny, we wanted that house. Because, of course, that was the fun house. So there's always been that thing that we like what other people have. But we don't sit down to consider what those people went to get whatever it is that they have. And we also don't sit to consider that if we're sitting here wanting what they have, chances are there's something that we have that they don't. And they want that. So my message for today for you as a human, as a person, as a good person, as whatever you feel you are, is this. Don't waste so much of your time thinking about what your neighbors have and you don't, or what anybody else has and you don't, because life is a lot shorter than you think. And before you know it, it's over. And all that time that you waste trying to keep up with the Joneses and trying to outspend, outdo, outparty your neighbor, it's time that you're not spending having a lot of real fun. Because let's be honest, all that time that you're wasting being jealous and envious of other people's stuff, it's not good for you. It's just not good for you. You're not happy sitting around wishing that you have what they have. You just don't. I'll give you an example of the opposite. I know a person whose sister bought a house a couple of years back. Now, this person, much like me, is not interested in buying right now. They like renting because, you know, they have 24-hour maintenance and all that kind of stuff. And the truth of it is, once you get used to renting and you see that they fix everything for you, it's kind of hard to go back to having to fix your own messes. So I understand the mentality because I live it. But the thing about it is that this person's sister bought a house, and it's a beautiful house. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that house is beautiful. I don't feel envy because I'm happy for her. And I'm sure my friend is happy for her sister. I don't have time to sit here, oh, I wish I had that house. For one thing, it's not the type of house I would like. It's a beautiful house. But I have a feeling that if I wanted a house, I would like to design my own. I don't know why. I think I would design my own house. The other thing is that if I had to buy property, I probably would buy in a condo so I wouldn't have to deal with the grass, and if you have a pool, the pool, and all this other stuff, because somebody else would do it for you. So you can be happy for other people and enjoy the fact that they have whatever it is that they have. That doesn't mean you have to be jealous of them. I just don't understand the whole concept. And maybe it's because I've never been that jealous of anything anyway. But don't, it's okay if you say, wow, you have a great house. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're jealous of them. Sit around on Facebook all day looking at pictures of happy people and just be happy for them. It will do great things for you and your soul. Anyway, that's my message for today. You have a wonderful day and thank you so much for watching.